On tonight's episode of Thursday Night Therapy, how could this sweet 62-year-old grandmother get involved with a man that committed a quadruple homicide?
But this morning after my run, or during my run, I was talking to God and just saying how much pain I'm always feeling. And why do I have to go through so much? I realized, I'm a pretty happy person. I got a lot of great things going. But I suffer a lot of heartaches.
He says his mom was visiting her husband, David Brinson, there.
They would read the Bible together. He was in school in there because she was pushing him to try to be this better person.
But Brinson is serving 4 consecutive life terms with a 20-year determinate sentence on top of that, without the possibility of parole, all after his 1993 conviction of 4 murders.
He killed his wife during a conjugal visit in November 2024 in Mule Creek State Prison in California. Now, you may think that cases like this are isolated, but in fact, this actually happens often because for some reason, women have prison fantasies and they are completely delusional about the relationship. This is a clip of season 6 of Love After Lockup.
That whole thing, date somebody fresh out.
Yeah.
They fill your head with all these hopes and dreams, and it's all a lie.
So I feel like it's different for me, too.
Girl, everybody thinks it's different for them. And now I'm out here, alone.
Yeah.
I don't trust DeModrick. I think he knows she loves him, and he takes advantage of that. DeModrick's baby mama. I think that there's more to it, because why would she go to the trouble of posting all this stuff on social media?
See, these women are normally... They have a positive outlook on life. They accept all the flaws of the prisoner, and they think they can change them.
If there's somebody out there and you've done a lot and you love people, you do, search your heart. Ask God to help you heal from whatever that is that's hurting you, because you have to love everybody. You have to truly love.
Tonight, we cover this story and Why Do Men Cheat? Part 2. Let's talk about it. This is my father, Big Chuck. He taught me the pimp mentality from the crib, so I was never faithful in any relationship. Until one day, 6 years ago, I looked at all the broken hearts and pain that I caused and decided it was time to level up. So now I'm a happily married man who still doesn't stand for the trick mentality that is destroying our community.
I'm Champagne, a single woman on a journey to build a life rooted in self-love, balance, and authenticity. I'm exploring the ups and downs of personal growth, embracing independence, and creating space for joy, peace, and purpose. Whether you're on a similar path or just curious about the ride, this is your space to feel seen, inspired, and empowered.
I'm Dante. I'm the realest of the group. I'm once married and now divorced and dating as a single father. Here to bring a grounded perspective, pushing past all the fluff and get into the heart of what really matters.
Welcome to Thursday Night Therapy. Things you talk to your therapist about. The show where we dive into the good, the bad, and the downright awkward conversations we all have, or maybe should have, in therapy. Nice topic. Why do men cheat? Part 2. But before we get into that, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that every time that we go live, you know when we are up. Just a reminder, tonight's topic, why do men cheat? Part 2. But first, let's talk about current events.
What's happening, everybody? Oh, man. That just came up recent news about Stephanie Brinson, as we just seen on the preview. She was a very beautiful 62-year-old grandmother. She was very religious, and she had such a sweet, loving spirit. As I looked through her social media, she was doing, so many great things with her family. She was, giving she would do food drives. She was just had a loving heart, but she really didn't. I don't think she really found someone that she could love. And I think that she needed somebody to try to heal. She was a healer. And how she got mixed up with somebody that committed a quadruple homicide, that's beyond me. I mean, like I said, guys behind jail, they could be really, they could be real charming, because that's all they have to do is be creative and try to reach out to people that are out free. And they're going to tell you everything that you want to hear. They're going to be the perfect person. And you're not even going to understand why they're there. But I think in this particular case, it was like the scorpion and the frog. And you know how that goes. It was just the scorpion's nature to sting the frog. He could not control itself. And you got to understand that, ladies, when you're talking to certain people that seem like they're good people, but they haven't proven it to you. So yeah, this story was it was just, it's just a straight tragedy where man, like, what I'm saying? She was like, she seemed like she was such a sweet person that she wouldn't put herself in that. But like I said, in California, they have conjugal visits if you're married, and they ended up happening on a conjugal visit where it appeared that he strangled her during a conjugal visit. So damn, like, bro, like, you in there for life anyway. You had somebody that was looking out for you and you killed her. Like, wow. Damn, bro.
Wow. I didn't hear much about this story before you this week, bringing it up this week. Dang, that is some really psychotic stuff, because like, who cuts off their own stream of pussy while in the joint?
Oh, gosh.
Who else is he gonna fuck? Am I the only one who thought that one? Okay,
I think you did.
I'm early. It's your turn. I'm early. It's your turn. What you?
But see, remember, listen, you're thinking like a logical person. Remember,
that's what I'm saying. That's how I know he's crazy. That's how I know he's crazy, bro. Because that's what I'm saying. The same person would never do that, bro.
Right. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We tend to think everybody has at least a sense of common sense, but everybody does not. If he killed 4 people, then it wasn't just like an isolated incident. He went in there and he just killed everybody. Everybody couldn't have did stuff to him. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of times
that was in the 90s.
He did this to his loved ones.
That was in the 90s.
You kill 4 people. That if you're killing for anything outside of self-defense, there is something wrong with you mentally. Like, there is just really, even if you get your heart broken, there's more chicks out there. There's just really no reason to kill anyone outside of self-defense.
And men too.
Oh, and men too.
Yeah. Too. Thank you.
Yeah, and men too. I'm sorry. Outside of self-defense, we're talking about a dude. That's why I'm focused on a dude. But yes. But outside of that, like, there's really no reason to kill anyone. So someone who takes their time to actually kill people,
not takes their time,
not twice, several times, he can't be good. And you know what? There's 4 aspects of this. And before you guys crucify me, because you are, just fuck with me for a real second. Because a lot of people are asking, like, why would she do this? Why would she date a guy who has killed quadruple times? Why? Okay, so I think there's 4 to 5 reasons. Religion, right? Religion teaches you forgiveness, what you forgive, and some of you guys are just like, no. But there's a lot of people who feel like, oh, you killed somebody, I need to forgive you per our religion. There's a pastor who he advocated for this dude. This dude killed his family. He advocated for this guy, a pastor, a male pastor. He, dude changed his way. Guy got out of prison, killed his new kids and his stepkids. All in the name of religion and forgiveness. Another thing is such a male focus. My value is tied to men. If I don't have a man, some of you have heard this. Some man is better than no man. So even if he has, a little murder, okay, it's a little murder, what does that matter? Another issue, afraid of being alone. Naturally, she's in her 60s. She's coming to the end. It's nice to have somebody there, even if it's only in jail. Control. When you're a woman, you got your heart hurt so much, you've had your heart broken. It's easier to control someone in prison because who he gonna cheat on you with?
Yeah.
Dudes. I won't say no to it, but it's an amalgamation of issues. It's not just one issue. It's all of these. If you seek somebody who has gone in prison, because it has to be. It has to be.
I'm blown away. Fam is crazy. I barely have any word for this. I'm one of the most understanding people. Again, study psychology, get deep into sociology. I would like to know why people do the things they do. I would like to know how the brain works, and I'm really having trouble putting these together. So to your point, love doctor, like some people just don't think in a sane, logical way, and it's like I don't know if she saw inklings of that or clues of that along the way or any of that stuff. But man, this is mind blowing to me because you got to think that a man in prison. Think about how valuable conjugal visits must be to a
Mm-hmm.
man in prison. Again, on the street is one thing, but to a man in prison, that's got to
Mm-hmm.
be a very valuable thing. So
Right.
I still can't wrap my head around it, G.
A murderer, nonetheless, a quadruple time murderer. I think we have to throw that in
But
every
that was
single
in the
time.
90s.
It doesn't matter. There's no
What
statute of limitation on murder.
what was you doing in the, of course not, but I mean people can now people can change. I mean he shouldn't be he should not be the pillar that I'm choosing to stand on. But in general, people can change. So things happening in the 90s.
Now you see why she chose him, huh?
Okay.
People
Right.
can't change.
But see, that's the thing. I think, like I said, it started off with, like I said, they was doing like Bible study together, and like you said, she was very religious, so she felt as though she could heal him and everything. But she was just so sweet, man. I'm gonna play another clip, and this is just so you get another better understanding how she is, with her family. Let me go ahead and play this real quick. Hold on 1 second.
We are at the airport. I'm taking my granddaughters and my niece. Say hi, you guys. We're going to go have some fun together for the next 4 days. We'll be back. Where are we going, Katie?
Las Vegas.
We're going to Las Vegas. And I don't know if you guys know this. Circus now has added on. But I've been praying for like 45, 50 days now, the same thing. And God told me that, my heart needs to be even softer. I was like, oh my God, I've suffered hundreds of thousands of dollars in loss because my heart being soft, people walking over me doing things. What could you possibly be talking about?
See, and and like I said, man, she was just so pure at heart. Like, I mean, for real, like I don't even, some people are just witches, but I looked at her whole, when you look at somebody's timeline, it's almost like a resume. You just get a clue the type of person that they are.
Yeah.
If you see girls out with thongs shaking their behind, they partying and whatever, what type of lifestyle you have. But in this particular case, she was family oriented. She always had something positive to say. She would always try to, bring some positivity, to everything. And so for him to kill somebody like this with this type of spirit, I mean, this dude was just straight evil, man. And like I told you, everybody that's evil you're not going to, they don't act like a monster in front of you. You're not going to know that. It's them being cunning and able to actually deceive people is how they are able to get their evil off. So just because they don't present themselves as being evil, don't mean they're not. So just be careful. Like I said, I do know people that have served time in prison that have came out and now are living productive lives and are married and everything. And they met their person in jail and they were sincere. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is about the prison thing, it's a fantasy until it actually is out in the public. When they get out, that's when you know if it's real or not. But behind bars, you in a controlled environment. Like you might even really think that you might be this person. But when you come out and you have temptation and you have other options, then the real person is going to come out. So anybody that's dating somebody in prison, I would say, wait to get serious at least a year after they get out. So they went through all the little trials and tribulations and temptations that are out here.
It's like, no.
Yeah, no, for real.
What?
Because go ahead.
Yeah, like what is the point? Why are you dating somebody in prison, bro? I'm sorry. It's so many people in this world. One of the best parts about dating is being together physically. Like just in the same place, the same room, the same car. Like, why be with somebody you can't be with? We talk about people not being right in the mind. I don't want to get too deep on nobody, but you dating somebody who is in prison, especially those ones who have those long sentences that you know aren't getting out in a long time is like generally like, what is the purpose? Like, so your brain might be on some other stuff too, low key, for real.
Yeah.
Well, no, see, I equivalate that to a long distance relationship. You know what I'm saying? Where you can't see that person every day. Like I said, they're in prison. They're, you know, seemingly dedicated to just you. Of course, they could only be dedicated to just you. But sometimes people need somebody that has consistent conversation, even though it's forced discipline. But people believe this in their mind. You know what I'm saying? But and you gotta and then you got to understand too that there's a high percentage of the black male population that are incarcerated. So if you can't find somebody out here in the streets, you might come up on something that's in jail. He might have reformed himself.
I will date outside my race before I do
scratch that from the record.
I mean, hey, you can't say everybody in jail ain't nothing. Everybody, I didn't been in jail myself, but I'm just saying, like, everybody that's in jail aren't a bad person, bro. That's all I'm saying. You can't just put a whole blanket over everybody.
We're not saying they're a bad person.
But peep this though: if you can't find somebody out here in the free world, no, not maybe go find. No. You need to work on yourself, baby. There's plenty of people out here, and if you can't find one out here, something wrong. The answer is not behind bars. I promise you that. Most, I'm gonna say most because we're not gonna use all here. Most stable, long-lasting, healthy relationships don't begin with one person behind bars.
Right. It's not the ideal situation, but I'm just saying, like, it's like I told you, I know people that went to jail and came out and lived productive life. You can't find somebody who's sincere. But like I said, somebody is behind bars. They've done something to put them there, of course, but I wouldn't just categorize every guy that's in jail. He ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, so, we on the same page, love doctor. Like what you say, give him a year? How long you say give him?
I say, give him at least a year. You know what I'm saying? Before you actually take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And see if his actions match his words. You see what I'm saying? If that's what route you want to go. Like I said, hey, bro, the pickings is slim out here either way for men and women. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
The pickings is slim.
It is not. It is not.
Damn, it ain't that slim.
The wrong way.
It's very slim out here, dog. You got to be
lucky.
It
ain't that slim, bro. God damn.
Yeah, it is. Okay, then tell me this. Then. How come people aren't married like they should be then if the pickings is so great? How come it's such a big non-married society? Tell me that. And all the people that are free.
Hey, man, there's a very, very large gap between not being married and dating somebody in jail. It's a whole lot of stuff that goes on.
But like 50% of marriages last. 50% of marriages last. That's like a great average.
That's not a great average.
That is an absolutely great average because you got to look at why people get married.
That's terrible. If you get a 50% on your test score, is that an F?
That is not terrible.
Not good.
That is not
50%,
terrible.
50%
Okay.
is bad.
That's a lot.
That's too. You're looking at human beings, and plus on top of that, people are still trying to redefine what marriage is. But this is a whole other conversation. We're not going to.
That's a whole other conversation.
All right.
Say why prison life? Oh, that's that's a topic.
Somebody tell me how this relates to men cheating, man. What? Flip me over, Chuck. Pause.
All right, y'all. Damn, y'all rough, boy. Let me tell y'all. Okay. Now listen. Now, like I said last week, when we did Why Men Cheat, we went over several topics, and a couple of those were we talked about the lack of maturity. We talked about having the new factor as far as getting something new, because that's the one thing that that no matter how long you're in a relationship, your woman can't give you no new sex. And new sex is it's fun, you know what I'm saying, while it lasts. But we talked about that and different things, but I want to go into the next phase. Oh shit. No, sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, I'm my thing is tripping over here a little bit. Okay. But I want to go into the next phase of Why Men Cheat. Okay, and I want to cue up this video, and And this is a real big reason of why men cheat right here. And I'm just gonna be the first thing that we talk about right here. Okay. Let me bring this up.
Demadrix cheated on me with her twice in the beginning of our relationship because he was going through a lot. He lost his best friend to a car accident. He was not himself mentally. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I kind of gave him space. And then I found out she was pregnant. Do I have resentment towards her? Yes, but it's not even because he cheated on me with her. It's the part that you keep disrespecting me and you dangle the kids above his head.
This is his third time that you've given him a chance.
Right.
Just gonna keep going back to jail because Kiana gonna do whatever and be there when he get out, and then he gonna have 12 more kids while he out this time. Then you're gonna be waiting on him and all 12 of them when he get out the next time.
You know what? I'm about done with you.
Okay, as we see in this video, this is a big reason of why men cheat. It's because of the stupidity of or naivety, being naive of some of these women. Like, as you see in the clip, he's been cheating on you, but you took him back. If we know that you're going to take us back after we cheating, then we basically got to pass the cheat. So why would we have a fear of cheating if I know that my woman's going to take me back? She's accepted that I cheated many times. So why would I stop? And as you see, she keeps making up excuses for the guy. And she's just straight up naive about the whole situation. She thinks that, oh, no, he's different, this and that. No, he's already shown you that you're a cheater. And you know what type of nigga you was fucking with when you got with him. So don't act stupid when he starts cheating on you again. You see what I'm saying? So all that stupidity part is a big reason why men cheat. So take that to advice.
Because they allow.
Yeah, we can flip that on why women get cheated on. Absolutely. Choice plays a very large part. And, Chuck's right. It is very difficult to excuse situations where you're dating a known repeat cheater. Oh, it's so hard to feel bad for you sometimes because it's kind of like you know what you're getting, yet you're still sitting and complaining about it.
So it's just, I mean, I get it. It's kind of like if someone allows you to, it's like disrespect, right? I mean, essentially that's what cheating is disrespect. If you allow someone to disrespect you once, they're going to continue to do that. So I can see that. Is that not what it is?
Yeah, no, a lot of the times, man, you think that you let it slide, that one time, and you think you're going to forgive it and let it go or whatever. But I mean, essentially you're teaching the person how to treat you. So it comes down to, once he does it and then you let it go, it's kind of like, a child or even a man. Does the punishment fit the crime? You do a crime, and then there's a punishment for it. So, hey, listen, if you smoke a joint and they're going to give you 50 years in prison, that's tough. But if you can rob a bank and get $1 million and only get 24 hours, would you rob the bank?
I mean, yeah, because you want that free money.
But it's worth I'll take the meal and the one day, like, that's worth it. So, a lot of the times that quick to forgive and that letting the stuff go puts it in a place where, like, that punishment isn't enough to make that man want to avoid that crime.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, I don't know if you have more. Do you have more to add to this, Chuck? Because I do have a question when you guys are ready.
No, go ahead. I'm just gonna keep going down the list of things that why men cheat, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I came across this. So there's this website called the Institute for Family Studies, and they do studies of families, mainly over the USA, and other areas. So they had the demographics of cheating in America, and I thought it was really interesting that out of Blacks, Hispanic, and white people, Black people were noted as cheating the most out of all three demographics. So do you feel like cheating is like a Black man thing, is a Black culture thing? Do you think that Black men cheat more, basically?
I think everything that we do in life correlates to the beginning. Okay. Now, if you notice those numbers, I mean, I mean, we don't know really. People might not be honest about the numbers, but if that is the case, it starts from the beginning. Now, if more of our families are dysfunctional from the beginning, so dysfunction is the norm. So yeah, if I've always gotten away with cheating and that's all I've seen all my life, and I don't really know what a functional thing looks like where I'm honest with my woman and I get the benefits of being honest and building a family, then yes, then I'm going to lie to get what I want. Because a lot of times, especially with males, we start off with lying to our mothers, manipulating our moms as a young man. First of all, that's the first woman that we manipulate is our mother. And if we could get that off on her, and then we can get it off on anybody. Now, with the father there to check that bullshit, because I've seen like where my nephews, they be lying and shit to my sister. I'm like, look, bro, he's lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let him get that shit off. You know, but if she don't listen to me, so if you don't have a male guy there to balance that shit off at a younger age, then it's going to continue into adulthood, and he's going to continue the same patterns with women and how he manipulates and lies to get what he wants and things like that without being checked. So it's very important that if it starts off wrong in the beginning, then it's going to end. It's not going to end right in the end either. You know what I'm saying? Until we grow up and maybe see a better side and things like that. You know, because like I said, when I was younger, my dad involved me in his schemes with my stepmother. He used to use me as an excuse to go out to see his other hoes. I was cool with their kids. We played Nintendo and shit together. You know what I'm saying? While he was upstairs hammering their moms. So, you see what I'm saying? So I was already doomed from the beginning. So I have to be grabbed on a curve because that's how I was raised. That's what I seen as a young. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
it was that dysfunction on a big scale. So if we don't have nobody to check that, then that's what we think is the norm.
Yeah, no, I mean that's it's a really good point, man. It starts at the root. You know, that list, that census that they took that ranks the cheating. You know, that also correlates to those who value family versus those who don't. Kind of like Chuck just alluded to. You know, the black culture, the black family is dissipated in comparison to the Hispanic families and even the Caucasian families. Their families are stronger than ours. Not obviously in a physical sense, because we beat all of their ass.
Oh my God.
But speaking, but speaking like, you know, just outwardly on culture, I mean, their family structures are stronger than ours. So to Chuck's point, it does take a father to check a young man because he knows when he's bullshitting. Boy, your arm don't hurt. Get up. Cause see your mama, she going, oh, it takes the man to be like, boy, but the thing is the same thing on the other foot. You know, for mothers often do that with their daughters. The daughters take advantage of fathers, and mothers are the ones who come along like, you ain't slick. I know what you're doing. Whatever. Like there's balance. Everybody got to do their job. But what happened is that we removed a person completely who's supposed to do a job of protecting, providing, teaching, guiding. So we now feel the impacts of that. We feel the impacts of that on our daughters, and we feel the impacts of that on our sons. Also, because of so I feel like I venture to believe that more boyfriends cheat in our culture than husbands cheat in our culture. You follow me? Does that make sense? I think that the ones that take the time to take it as far enough to actually get married, I don't think you see nearly as much cheating out of black husbands that you do out of black boyfriends.
Ooh, that's a tall order there.
But the choice, because the family construct isn't built to get to that marriage piece either. Again, so removing that, it removes that layer. And it goes back to what Chuck essentially said, we're products of our environment and the environment that most of us came up in, which is rightfully getting better and better and better. We're correcting it. Our children are not living the same lives we did. So there will be differences that come about. But the environment that we were brought up in, that's how it was. Chuck, to your point, my dad took me with him. He was married. My dad's married. He would take me with him. I may be 4, 5, 6 years old. We're in the car. He's married to my mom. He's driving down the street honking. Hey, girl, damn. Shit, you see that? Tapping me like I'm a somewhere. Hey, you see that? That thing fat. Yes, Dad. That thing is fat. But this is what, to Chuck's point, I'm like 4 or 5 years old. This This is put into you before you have an opportunity to even think for yourself, to think how it should be or whatever the case. So, I mean, you come up, you're a teenager, and again, here's the other part. I remember being maybe third grade, fourth grade. My dad, who wasn't around much, came, he asked me about my grades, told him about my grades, he gave me some money. And then he asked me a question. He said, how many girlfriends you got? He didn't ask me if I had a girlfriend. He asked me how many girlfriends do I have? And I think I said like 4. I was I was lying. I think I only really had like 2. But I think I said like 4 or something. And but it's just that planted in your head from a young age. Don't be surprised when I'm 21, 22, when I'm out here running around honking my horn, yelling out the car at girls and shit, and I'm cheating on my way.
So points, right? So Dante, you said that you feel that more boyfriends cheat than husbands, right?
Mm-hmm.
But y'all dads was married and they were cheating, right?
Absolutely.
And you two were married and you both cheated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So far, 100% of the men that I know right now have cheated while they were married. So I don't know if that was a good comparison to bring up. And then the other point is that we talked about that men not being their child's life are perpetuating, you know, they're lying to their moms and stuff. But you two both had your dads, relationships with your fathers. You both revere your dads, but still the cheating occurred.
Right.
Why?
It's a pattern. Like I just said, it's a pattern. If our dads were cheaters and involving us and displaying the behavior that they were showing us, then I mean, what other that's all we've seen. So we might have thought that that's what a functional relationship is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, couple that with the fact that most men cheat anyway.
So you think
especially at adolescent, most adolescent males cheat anyway. So take that person who was likely going to do that anyway and magnify it by putting them around a person who does it, you know, you even in not idolizing my father, I idolize my father. You do it without knowing it. You look up to that person without, even when you don't like him, like, this man, he don't do this, he don't do that. You still look up to that person for some reason because they sit in that role. So before you have a chance to even form your own opinions on stuff, a lot of the time you're a product of your environment. We see it. There are very many women who see their mom get slapped around, who grow up to let niggas slap them around. Why do you do that? You know, you're a product of your environment.
How do you teach your kids to not engage in such behavior? Can you teach them? Or is it like how do you continue to perpetuate the cycle? Or
I think personally with children, you have to actually show them more than you tell them, because they're going to watch how you behave and they're going to pattern themselves on how you behave. Now, in my case, as far as with drugs were concerned, my dad always told me not to use drugs, even though he was mad smoking weed when I was younger, and he ended up smoking crack and he became, a fiend. But he told me, hey man, he was completely transparent. Like, look, man, what I'm doing is wrong, Chuck, man. Don't do this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And he kept it real with me, even though he was doing it. So I never did it. So I did listen to him in that sense. So he could have very easily told me, man, hey man, don't be cheating with these hoes, Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm killing all these hearts, and I would have listened to him if he would have said that. But still, I think that as a kid, when you see these types of things happen, I think you kind of it's kind of hard. Most kids are going to follow what they see than what they hear anyway. You know what I'm saying? By example, because like I said, when we get older, we judge our parents. I didn't see my mom do some shit that I didn't like, and I told her about the shit. You know what I'm saying? She tried to do the best that she can, but I'm like, look, I know you, Mom. I live with you now. This is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. So, I think we have to display that, and you have to see the end results. And that why, this makes sense to do it. And this is the positive results that you'll get if you do it, because I also at the same time, I've seen people who were completely dedicated to their wives, and their wife wasn't appreciative or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they completely dedicated their whole life, gave them the paycheck, their whole life towards their wife. So, So so you could just see it both ways. It's just how you really perceive things and what you see.
Yeah, man. Anybody who watches, as you guys know, or even you see in the intro, I have custody of my children, my sons. I have all boys, and my boys live with me. So, to answer that question, I'm one of these. So, I talked before about we got these different eras, and eras kind of change, and we all kind of grow up in different ones, and kind of how we grew up is different from how our children are growing up. My children are growing up in that I don't let nobody around my kids era. So, whereas a lot of us grew up in like it's a bunch of people running in and out, running in and out, running in and out, and that kind of is what created, some of the young lady and young men that we're seeing these days. My kids are growing up in the era of like, you don't meet my kids, you don't get to see
That's how I was raised.
My kids haven't seen me with anyone, but their mother. They may hear me talk on the phone or something like that, or whatever the case, but they don't really see much interaction with me and women, and that's on purpose. They're 13 and 14. Y'all need to be focused on school. You need to be focused on your bodies, on your health, your wealth. But we don't need to be worried about that right now. So when the time comes, we'll have those conversations. But for now, it's just lead by example. And lead a very quiet life as far as my children can see.
I thank you guys for being so vulnerable and answering the question without being so saucy. I think it's good for us to hear that because I know there's times that, you get cheated on. And especially as a woman, you're like, I did everything. I done sucked them from the rooter to the tutor. And I done cooked for them and clean. And, how did we get here? So, thank you for that. And again, if you just started joining us, this is part 2 of Why Do Men Cheat? Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that every time that we go live, you know where we're at.
Right. And I just want to add to what you're saying real quick. I want to throw this in real quick. Now remember, listen to me. No matter how great a man can become or the type of good guy that he is or whatever, it can happen, man, in a time of weakness. You know what I'm saying? I want to run this clip. These are a couple men that achieved great things that were cheaters, okay? And I want to just throw these in here real quick, okay? Hold on one second.
Which J. Edgar Hoover was obsessed with destroying. So they started by using classic spying techniques and wiretaps in the midst of King's rise, and this would reveal his extramarital affairs. And for those who don't know, King was a husband and father of 4 to Coretta Scott King.
To early February, I was in inpatient therapy, receiving guidance for the issues I'm facing. I have a long way to go.
Disgusted at myself for making a mistake of adultery.
And listen, as you see, listen, these were great men, and they got caught up in weakness. It can happen to anybody. You know what I'm saying? If your mind ain't right, like I said, as you see, even Dr. King, they showed the tapes, like they played the tapes for Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
They played the tapes of Martin Luther King, and Dr. Martin Luther King, he was tearing that stuff up, bro. You know what I'm saying? They told him, listen, man, you are a savage monster. You know what I'm saying? You need to kill yourself right now or we'll release the tapes. I mean, bro, listen, and then Tiger Woods, bro, why are you going to go to counseling and like it's something wrong with your head? People having sex with different women has happened since the beginning of time. Like, what is this? It's just, listen, you just need to get your stuff in order, man, and just get your priorities straight. Now, sometimes you could come back from these things and sometimes you can't. Like I said, Tiger and Kobe was complete opposite things. Kobe's girl rode with him all the way. Like she was holding his hand.
She was very obvious about that. It was about money. If Kobe went broke, she would have been gone. And
he paid her. He specifically paid her.
Yeah,
but listen, she could have took the money and ran right then. She would have took him. She didn't have no prenuptial agreement. She could have left right then. She still rode with him to the end.
Not dumb.
So I'm just saying,
she
was loyal to him. He made a mistake. He was contrite, and then they got over it. And Kobe became a great father and everything. He was just a young man that made a mistake at the time. I'm not condoning cheating. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying it happens a lot of times to the greatest of men. That's all I'm saying.
Man, with a conversation that a lot of us don't have. Listen, man, Powerful men since the beginning of time have always had multiple women. Since before us, since before this Western civilization adapted this monogamy as the golden standard, if you go back before us and you keep going back, it wasn't like this. Men who had could have. If you could afford more, you could have more. If you were a king, there was no king that had one. Not none of them. Not one king who was like, you know what? I don't need all of that, baby. You're enough for me. Just you. Because that's not the way we wired naturally at the core. So if you an average guy, you don't got no business dealing with more than one woman. But man, you're gonna ask a king, you're gonna ask Tiger Woods, you're gonna ask these famous guys, these ball players, these guys, Kobe Bryant. She probably was literally in his bed naked when he got in there. Like he living a different life than the rest. I don't have to fight those battles, bro. Like if I don't try, nothing gonna happen. But it's some brothers who like they have to literally like try not to cheat every single day because it's literally being thrown at them, and that's a different life right there.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but you know what you have to do to actually cheat? It's not like you could walk down the street and you're having sex with people in the street. You have to, one, create contact with this individual. Two, develop a relationship, a friendship where you guys get to the point where you can talk that dirty like that. Three, you got to meet up with each other. Four, you got to actually go to the place and get your, there's a whole bunch of steps. And what I think it comes down to is at any point, you could be like, nah, I'm not going to do this. I think it's a selfish thing. I think it's a pure selfish thing.
You know what's interesting? If I pose it to you a different way, using the word selfish, thinking it's a selfish thing, let's pose it a different way. Everybody in the world knows that men love pussy, right? Do we all know that?
Yeah,
I think we had this conversation last show.
It's the greatest form. It's the greatest form of pleasure other than drugs. Right.
Okay. How much? They love it more than money, don't they?
It depends on the person.
Yeah,
for sure. But like, we all know universally, not just like, oh, most men, some men, light-skinned men, dark-skinned men, white men. No, men love pussy. So if we all know that, then who's really being selfish? Him for taking the pussy, or you? Or you for keeping that man from the one thing that you know deep down he loves more than anything else in the world? Who's being selfish?
You don't think women want to switch it up? You don't think women want new dick? You don't think women sometimes think, dang, I show Miss Tony. Woo, that tongue trick was wild. But here I am with George because he's stable. He's a good guy.
Well, here's the part of that argument. Here's the thing. As a man, I'll say, yes, you can go have Tony, and then don't come back.
See, you don't want me to come back.
But you have the same power. If I cheat, you can say, damn, you went out there and got it with Tanya? I'm out of here. Like, we have the same choices in it. And every time, because I've heard that argument, a lot of times men be like, y'all know how much men like sex, so you want to keep it from there. Like, well, y'all don't want us to do it. Hey, if that's what you want to do, go do it. I'll be on my own.
But you don't think women are ridiculed a bit more because, like you said, men love vagina. They love vaginas, okay? So she's more pressured into keeping him because it's, you think you're going to do better? I mean, all men cheat. Do you want to cry in a Porsche or you want to cry in a Pinto? Like it's more pressured versus for men, it's more acceptable for y'all to leave. It'd be like, oh yeah, she was trifling. In fact, I'll never be faithful again because your girl wasn't faithful to you. I mean, my bitch is faithful to me, but fuck her. I'm with you, bro.
You know what? I mean, it used to be like that, but I think in this day and age,
Mhm.
it's actually looked down upon for a woman to actually be in a role that she's protocoling through her husband and things like that. It's looked down upon. Feminists do not like for men to have any type of control over a woman's life, and we know that. So I used to talk to this female and like she was real, she had friends and things like that. But once we got together, she protocol through me. Like, a friend asked her, hey, let's go to Puerto Rico and this and that. She was like, oh, I got to ask my man first. And man, they dogged her like, what you mean? Your man? What you got to ask your man for? You can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm saying. So I really think in this day and age, with the type of women that are being put in front of us that are exhibiting that they are super independent and they ain't got to ask a man for nothing. I don't think that's true anymore. I'm sorry.
I disagree.
It's not the truth.
Cardi B, we just talked about her. She was okay with Offset. I mean, not okay, but she stayed with Offset and he cheated on her. Regardless, you had people say, "Hey, make work it out with your husband." She stayed with him. Then you have Tiana Taylor. Iman Shumpert cheated on her numerous times, and that wasn't even the reason why they got divorced. I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
Yeah, it's both sides. You've got feminists now, so there's a crowd that feels that way, but you can't say that's the majority, or there is definitely a crowd that's saying
There's some people, of course. Yeah, we don't speak in I don't.
Yeah.
Feminists just believe in equal rights. I don't know why you guys could use that in a negative connotation. I am a feminist. I believe in
equal rights.
That's exactly what it is. That's power means down to white men. It's what it is. A feminist.
There's still, when I talk to feminists, there's still an underlying thing they have with men and men controlling any part of their life. So it's not just equal rights.
That's not a feminist. It's a lady who just don't like men.
Well, and why do a lot of them are feminists though?
I mean, that could be. It's not the same. It's like they could be a feminist, but a feminist doesn't necessarily not like man. It's just like a black man can be a convict, but a convict doesn't necessarily have to be a black man. I don't know if that makes sense, but
so they just don't want a man to tell them what to do. Then,
but a feminist just believes in equality. A feminist believes that if men can vote, women can vote. But there are women who just don't like men, like there's men who just don't like women. Now, are some of those women feminists? Sure, absolutely. But because you're a feminist doesn't mean that you don't like men. I don't mind men. I like men. My favorite people are men.
Fuck you too. What the hell?
I like you guys. When I talk to men, there's a level of respect. Like I feel like I don't disrespect y'all. I care about how you feel and mentally, emotionally. I support men. I support men. I get it. But I also believe that women are human beings and there are certain rights that should be bequeathed upon them, just like those rights are bequeathed amongst men. So I want us to understand that if you come across a bitch who's like she hates men, she just hates men. It happens to be a feminist.
Okay. All right. So let's go to another reason why men cheat. Let's go down like a couple of these things. I think the next reason why men cheat is for validation. A lot of times things can get stale in relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your woman can get used to you. Things become mundane and become ordinary. And then, you go out in these streets and, these women thinking you Superman out here. You know what I'm saying? Like they're real excited with the enthusiasm and everything. And it makes you feel good as a man that, this person is respecting and she's enjoying every part of me. Things that might have been lost along the line in relationships when relationships start to settle in to being more than just sex. And you start dealing with real issues and it's not, like I said, most relationships aren't sex based when you're married for a certain amount of time. Now you of course you're going to get it in, but you got to think there's bigger things it's bigger fish to fry shit. We, what I'm saying? We're going to buy this crib, so we're going to be doing these vacations. We're going to be eating good shit. You know what I'm saying? And the sex is just going to come naturally, but it's not the focus of everything if it's a functional relationship.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. A lot of people chase that beginning of the relationship thunder, you know how when you first meet somebody, the first 3 months are all exciting and smiles and dating and everything's new and you're getting to know a person. A lot of the time they chase that and they're home and they're in a relationship and like Chuck said, it gets mundane and kind of ordinary. And then when you're out, like you said, that new feeling kind of takes over. I remember a friend of mine mentioned to me he was with his girlfriend for a long time. And I was single, and he mentioned like, man, like I said something about, well, good for you. You got, in-house sex. And he was like, man, you having better sex than I do. He was like, relationship sex is boring. He's like, I have way more fun. He said, single, you get to have hotel sex and sex in the living room. He's like, man, this relationship sex is so. Also, there is that where it's kind of mundane, it's ordinary. You've got the relationship sex going, and then outside of the house, everything is new and fresh and exciting. And a weaker, less mature man can definitely mentally fold in that situation.
I have a question or a comment. I want you guys to tell me what type of cheating this is and where does this fall in your cheating category scale that you have here. So there's this guy I know. His wife is a baddie. She's a baddie. She is like a social media star. Beautiful. And her husband, he steps out on her. And, he's not a bad, he's very attractive himself. They're a very beautiful couple. But he cheats on her. He cheats on her. And he I feel like she gets a lot of attention. So he feels kind of like, I want attention too. So it seems like he puts himself out there, like she puts herself on social media, but she gets paid for it. And it's a whole career for her. So would that cause you guys to cheat if you feel like your girl is getting more attention than you are?
Me personally, I'll answer first. No matter how fine somebody is, after you've had it for a while, it's nothing to be excited. You ain't gonna be doing cartwheels and shit every time you hit it. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter how fine she is or whatever.
True.
If you are a cheater at heart, you're going to cheat no matter who it is. It don't matter. Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. Yeah, come on, bro. You ain't gonna get better than that.
I said that last week.
You know what I mean? You ain't gonna get better than that. Now he cheated on Beyonce because after a while it becomes normal. It's not new anymore. She's not the Beyonce that you've seen her behind closed doors. You've seen her when she's all unfeathered, you know what I'm saying, at her normal. You've had other fine women. So it's nothing, that's he's just a cheater. Like you can't explain it. Like sometimes you could find somebody that has their mind right that's not going to cheat, but sometimes some guys are just cheaters. Like in my first marriage, I just went in it with the wrong attitude. I wanted to be married, but I wasn't going to stop cheating. That was just who I was at the time. You know what I'm saying? And then, maybe this guy that you're talking about, maybe she might need to put some heat on him and like, look, I'm gonna leave you, don't, you cheating too much. And then it might register in his head to not do it anymore. But if he's a cheater, he's going to cheat, man. There's nothing that you can do about it. No matter how fine you is, he's going to cheat.
Yeah, like Chuck said, I mean, no matter how fine a woman is, I didn't have some fine women in my day. Oh, excuse me. So, I had some fine women in my day. And he's right. No matter how fine they are, like after a good year, 2 years, you just look like you. You know what I mean? Like, you're attractive, I'm attracted to you, but you just look like you at that point. And yeah, that part of it doesn't really matter. And if he's a cheater at the heart, then he's gonna cheat. And also to Chuck's point, there was a point in my life where no matter who it was I dated, I was gonna cheat on them no matter what she did. On my other point is that attractive women, I hate to say it, but attractive women a lot of times use that attractiveness as a crutch to come up short in other areas that really matter to a man. So I don't know the ins and outs of the relationships, but trust me, pretty chicks are the worst in the house. They're a great time outside the house, but pretty chicks suck at the crib. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That'd be horrible. Like, babe, I picked you because those pretty girls suck. And you're just
it'd be a good strong 7, low 8, 8.2, 7.8. I need that 7.8 to 8.2, man. I want 8.5. Don't get from around me. I know how to act, man.
Okay. Right. And let's come up with let's move on to another reason why men cheat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna, like I said, put myself into this category. And I'm in a lot of categories, by the way. But in this category, I think that we as men sometimes, especially as younger men, I think we just scared to just have one female that we put all of our thing. And like I said, I didn't mess with so many women that were married, and I've been on the other side of the game, and I just didn't want to be caught up in that. And I didn't want to publicly even go out as being in a relationship. It was almost, to me, like it was hard for me. I almost felt like me saying that I was in a committed relationship publicly, like probably like a gay man being outed. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a single guy for so long, and I didn't want my stuff to be out there. Like it was a little scary thing. Now we got one person that we rely on all of our sex for, and she's responsible for all of our pleasure and things like that. And what if she say no? You know what I'm saying? She don't feel like doing it that night. She got a headache. And what are we supposed to do? Like those are things, as you get older and as you see, you have to deal with those type of things when it comes to real issues in a relationship, because it's not going to always be that freak session that you want. And like I said, when you're single, I had a roller deck. Man, I had about 20, 30 hoes that I could call. Like, look, what you doing? Are you busy? Okay, I'll hit you back. What you doing? All right. And then, by the fifth one, what's up? Come on through and shit. I'm gonna set the jacuzzi off. It's on. You feel me? No. And it was always a fun time because it was a variety. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have to rely on one person. I could have one person that I could travel with and things like that, but I wasn't putting all my eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to settle down, because, like I said, what was I supposed to do?
It's that's true. It can be very difficult to rely on one single person for everything. It puts you in a very vulnerable position, and a lot of men aren't ready to be in that very vulnerable position. So good point. That is, another reason why, because you can't hurt my feelings when I have a bunch of other women. I remember when I was young, you talk about used to have them hoes, man. I used to go on, I got an attitude. I remember I was dating this girl, and this is back in the day. You had it was a flip phone or the Nokia phone.
Yeah.
But I could send out a text message to a bunch of people as single text messages. And my girlfriend made me mad one time sitting right next to her, bro. I sent out a, hey, what's up with you text to like maybe 10 females, like do.
Hey.
Change my ringtone to R. Kelly or something, put it down on the side. And I let that bitch piss her ass the fuck up. People kept, hey, what's up? But you just kept on hearing, hey, Mr. DJ. My bad. But you're right. You can't hurt my feelings when I'm in it, man. If it's just her and I ain't got no hoes, and she be like, whatever she say, so it can't hurt you. So yeah, that is another reason why some immature men may definitely cheat.
Vulnerability. They're afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one person for everything is scary for sure.
Right. And like I said, right. And it's hard to just, now you dealing with all these people that you've been around, and then all of a sudden say that, hey, I'm off the market now. You know what I'm saying? And and then like I said, they gonna be coming to try to really see if you're about that life. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, people was hitting me up all the time, like, "Hey, what you doing? You ain't married yet?" And shit like, look, bro, no. That's why the first marriage I had to go through, it was like, hey, I was learning. You know what I'm saying? And so I got it right, and then now my mind is right. So
another reason why men cheat, yes, because women be throwing it.
Yeah.
Niggas who in relationships.
Yeah.
I've been saying it online about the married men too. But women literally be throwing it, and man, it's so hard to turn down your favorite thing in the whole wide world when somebody offering it to you like this. Now, why does the woman that loved me the most in the world not want me to have the thing that I want? Never mind, we running up on an hour. Never mind.
All right, hey, that's the end of our time. But hey, any final thoughts, Champagne, on this subject right here?
There's a lot of reasons. It seems like at the end of the day, if it happens, you did it. That's what I got upstairs.
Okay, what
Listen,
about you, Dante? Final thoughts.
Listen, man. A lot of meat left on that bone, man. Who knows, man? We'll see part 3, man. Who knows? We'll see. But I still rest on the same day. It's a lot of different reasons, man. I say, an immature man is going to make immature decisions, man. So it really does come down to the mindset of the person that you're dealing with. It really does come down to the value that you bring to the situation. What does it hurt him to lose you? I want you to think about that. Because as a man, he's going to make a logical decision. He's going to weigh out 1 + 1. Does the punishment fit the crime? Don't forget that.
That's right. Hey, and my final thought is, listen, when you're in a relationship, make sure you start from the beginning, making sure it's right. Don't settle for somebody that down the line, if they're already kind of ugly to you, but they got a body and they got an ugly face or something like that, don't do it. Because eventually the body ain't gonna be enough for you. Make sure you find the person that you know that you can walk away for the rest of your life with this person and you won't cheat on them. But if you settle and you deal with somebody that is not really everything that you want, eventually, trust me, it's gonna come out and you ain't gonna be happy. So listen, that's our time. Come back and tune in at the same place. Please like and subscribe to this page. We appreciate y'all tuning in. If you got any subjects that you would like to talk about, please submit it. We appreciate y'all coming. So until next time, peace.
Mm-hmm.